A lot of men are jaded. A lot of men, contrary to what society may believe, have been burned, have been let down, have been used, have been manipulated. We can go on and on. The bottom line is they have been burned by a lot of different women and now carry a negative perception of women. But not just carry a negative perception, have reached a place of a struggle to trust that there's genuine love coming from a woman, to believe that the woman is truly into them, truly about them, truly going to be there and loyal to them. But that woman does exist. You know what I'm saying? There are genuine women out there. There are genuine situations where the woman is truly in love with a man. And I want the men to understand how to more clearly see that. All right. So one of the clear signs to tell that she's in love with you is that she's not focused on your money. Now, first, you got to have some money for us to even evaluate what's going on here. Because if you're completely broke, and I say that respectfully, if you're not at a place where you've gotten to financially stable, right, you may not be able to decipher what her intentions are in regards to this specific point. And I know some of you might be thinking, well, hell, if she takes me when I am broke or when I'm not financially stable, then she must really love me. Actually, no. And I know there's probably some of y'all shocked and some of the women watching right now who may want to disagree with that. But the reality is, and this needs a whole different video, but the reality is that there are plenty of women who take on quote unquote project situations, take on men who they feel like they can build up and turn into a man or turn to something better, not out of love, but out of safety. I won't dig too deep into that right now, but I just had to make that point that it is not an automatic that just because she takes you when you do not have the finances, that she is genuinely in love with you. But let's get to what I was saying about she's not focused on your money. What I mean by that is this. Let me give you a story. I know of a man where, this is true story, almost every time, let's just say every other woman that this man meets, he will show me texts where these women are asking him for money after the first date, within the first week. I even remember once being on Instagram or Twitter, I can't remember which, where they had a whole thread of men showing women trying to get money out of them. All right. Now, some people may try to normalize this as well. The man should be able to provide for the woman if he likes her. But these are women trying to get money out of the man as soon as possible. Okay, they're going straight for it. Now, here's how to look at this. Consider the fact, well, let me say this real quick. When she is so focused on your money so soon, she does not value you more than the money. She does not see past the money or see past what she can use you for. And she has no fears of alienating you, of offending you, of losing you by trying to get money up out of you. All right. And the way that you can look at this is look at some situations with men in regards to women and sex. Even though men in general, of course, would love some sex, right? If a man meets a woman that he's really into, and I know we're talking about being in love, but let's just say he just really likes her and he views serious potential, he may be more cautious with how he goes about trying to get sex from her. He may be more willing, he probably will be more willing to wait and be patient because he sees value in her past the sex. But if he does not see value in her past the sex, if he's not serious or see any potential, then he is more likely to want to get to the sex as soon as possible. So going back to the woman, when she's willing to go for your pockets that fast, that's a clear sign she doesn't really care about you like that. All right? Because the woman who's in love with you is not so focused on your money. It doesn't mean she does not require a level of stability from you. It does not mean that she's not going to enjoy a man who's willing to spend on her, provide for her. It doesn't mean that there's anything wrong if she views it as a man being a provider in a relationship. But what it means is that she is not making that the priority when she's meeting you and dating you as much because she's so much more into you, the man. She enjoys you, your presence, your conversation, all these other things. She sees value in you past what she can simply get from you. So pay close attention to the woman who does not make it all about your money, who not only doesn't make it about your money, but is even mindful of how you spend it on her. Like, and I do think, of course, there's exceptions to every rule, but typically a woman who is really into you, in love with you, is not going to want you to waste your money on her. Is not going to want to just dry you of your pockets or put you in a difficult financial position just for her to get what she wants. If she does that, she's being selfish. She doesn't give a damn about you. She only cares about getting what she desires. But the woman who cares is going to say, well, maybe that's too much. You know, maybe we can do this a different time. She's going to be willing to compromise or say it's not necessary. She's going to be mindful of how you spend on her. Now, of course, if you led with your money, if you're a man of a lot of resources, okay, then she may be a little bit more free with how much she takes because you got a lot to give. So that's why I said, we got to also understand there's going to be some exceptions, but a general rule is she's not going to be focused on your money and she's not looking to take advantage of you when she is in love with you. Second sign she's in love with you is she's willing to be vulnerable with you. Now, real quick, I didn't say this in the beginning, but I'm going to say it now. Because I mentioned this also in the video I did for the women talking about the signs that a man's in love with them. Is the fact that, listen, there are going to be situations where a woman can do these things and yet still be playing a man. But I would argue that, just as I said to the women, it's very rare for a woman to be doing all of these things and simply be trying to play you. Most people who are trying to play you are trying to get the most for the least. They're not trying to have to give so much of themselves just for the sake of using you. So it's one thing if she does one or two of these things really well, but you know that she doesn't do the other stuff I'm going to mention on this list. But when she's knocking all these things out, or even 9 out of 10, 8 out of 9, and maybe the ninth one we have to just improve upon, then you can give the benefit of the doubt that she is still serious in love with you, and there may be something else causing that one thing to be thrown off. All right, but we'll get to that more later. So anyways, number 2 was she's more willing to be vulnerable with you. So here's the thing. I do think that when we meet someone that we're really into, especially when we feel a connection with them, it causes us to be more vulnerable. We're more willing to open up to them. Even you as a man, when you're dating a woman that you're just trying to kick it with, you're more likely to be closed off. When you're dating a woman that you're really into, you're more likely to open up. That is the nature of how we operate as human beings, because our love for them causes us to naturally be more vulnerable. And so why this is important for you to pay attention to is because I've seen situations where society always talks about the man who's closed off and the man who is not letting the woman in and communicating. But there are situations where it's the woman not opening up. It's the woman not letting the man in, right? And let me say this, and again, some of these things can get very tricky because if the woman has not healed, there are situations where a woman could be in love with you, but because she has not healed, she's scared. And her love for you terrifies her. And the fact that you make her feel so vulnerable terrifies her. But what you will see with that woman is kind of a push and pull. It's kind of like these moments where she's so open and everything's so awesome, and then she pulls back because there's this struggle and inner conflict going on within her, this battle that she's facing. Now, I'm not saying to simply accept that and make excuses for it, so to speak, but I do want you to understand what may be going on there, and not to confuse that conflict with she doesn't really love you or care about you. She has a struggle within her that needs to be addressed, right? But the woman who's not in love with you, that's not into you, she's consistently shut off from you. She consistently is closed off. She consistently does not open up and is not vulnerable. It's not an in and out or a push and pull, an open close. No, it's just closed. She keeps you over there. She might be super secretive with her phone. She may not let you into her world of friends and family. She keeps you to the side. And she doesn't open up to you in a way that a relationship needs for it to flourish. So when you see that this woman is closed off like that, walled up, she is not in love. She may just be using you as a placeholder. She just doesn't want to be by herself, whatever the reason is. But she is not in love, because if she was in love, she would either be fully vulnerable or she'd be going through that back and forth conflict of vulnerable and then trying to close it back up. All right, so now we're at number 3. And the third sign she's in love with you is that she cares about how you feel. All right. So again, I'm sure many of you have seen it. Relationships where the man's feelings are dismissed. The man's concerns are dismissed. It's all about her, what she wants, F your feelings. All right, that's essentially how this woman is operating in the relationship, and making it about you should be catering to her, but devaluing and dismissing you. That is a clear sign she's not in love. All right, because when she's in love with you, she cares about how you feel. She cares about your opinion, your input. She cares about how you perceive her. So she cares about if something she's doing is bothering you or, causing any kind of conflict. She wants you to be happy and feeling good. So she's going to be mindful of if you're in a bad mood. She's going to be mindful of how her actions are affecting you. She's not going to simply act selfishly throughout the relationship. When a woman can consistently be selfish, and I say consistent because, listen, we can all have moments of being selfish. Not to excuse it, but we're human. It happens on both sides, men and women. But when she's consistently selfish, she's not in love. Women who are in love, it's almost like they have to fight themselves. If they're not at a fully healthy place or they've been contaminated by some false perceptions, it's almost like they have to fight themselves to not cater to you, because there's this desire to want to pour into you, and not just pour into you, want to pour into you even more that you're pouring into them. So whatever you're giving to them, they're going to magnify it and give it back. That's how the woman who's in love with you wants to operate. It's when she's healthy emotionally. Because again, if she's gone through some things, this is where things can get thrown off and there's a struggle. But when she is clearly selfish, then no, that is a bad sign. And that's not a woman that should be entertained. Now, the fourth sign she's in love with you is that she encourages you, supports you, and believes in you. So, one, let's talk about encouraging and supporting. One line, I've said it before in my previous videos, but a line a man once said to me was, the worst thing he ever did was marry a dream killer. All right? He married a woman that did not believe in him, did not encourage him, did not support him. Every idea he had, she was shooting it down. Everything he wanted to do was met with resistance and negativity. Now, listen, I want to make something clear. Sometimes you may have a desire or you want to do something that may actually be the wrong thing or maybe silly, or it could be potentially damaging, all right? And her having a resistance to it is her trying to operate in wisdom. But again, the theme you're noticing is that when it's consistent, when it's always pushback, always negativity, never supporting what you want to do, give a try or whatever, this is a problem. So when she's in love with you, she wants to lift you up. She wants to push you. She wants you to be better. She wants you to strive and achieve your dreams. That makes her happy as well. But I also say that you gotta give this woman something to believe in, okay? And what I mean by that is this. If you have a history of making bad decisions, then you cannot simply put it on a woman to blindly support what you want to do and blindly just encourage all the actions you want to take. You have to be mindful of showing her that you can be trusted in this area. And that's why I think it's so important as a man that you kind of build your resume up before you even get into a relationship when possible. I know sometimes love finds us before we've gotten everything set up the way that we want to, but in your single time, build that resume, because when you're a man who's done something with his life, again, it doesn't mean you got to be rich or famous or whatever, but you've shown the ability to accomplish things, then you come into the relationship with a track record that says, okay, he knows what he's doing. And there's no reason for me to resist him in that way. But if you come into it not having done anything in your life, or again, having a track record of bad decisions, then it's very difficult for even a woman who loves and cares about you to put herself in the uncomfortable position of just trusting you in this new decision you want to make and just supporting everything you want to do. So consider that in this dynamic. But in general, the woman who's in love with you will support you, will encourage you, believes in you, connects with who you are. And that's why it's so important, and I'm kind of reiterating what I just said, to build yourself up first and come into relationships knowing who you are as a man. And that will allow you to see more clearly if this woman truly aligns with you, truly loves you, or is just jumping along for the ride. Now, the fifth sign she is in love with you is that she wants to be better for you. Now, I had to add the for you part, and let me explain. Because I know many people watching this, men and women, will say, well, she should want to be better for herself. Absolutely, absolutely. But you will have a very hard time finding people who are in love, man or woman, who doesn't want to be better for their partner as well. For their partner is part of the motivation, all right? And so an example of this is, I was just doing a live, literally before I recorded this video. And the person I did a live with, she was saying how she wasn't always big into the stereotypical feminine roles of cooking and cleaning and all these things. But when she was with a man that she really was into, and we also talked about masculine and feminine energy, she was like, man, she was excited to cook for him. She was in that kitchen. She was twerking and cooking at the same time. She was doing whatever. Like, she wanted to take it up a notch for this man. And again, it wasn't even about being in love. It was just about her being able to be in her feminine, her being into this man. But when she's in love with you, she wants to do things for you. So when I see these relationships or marriages where a woman stops even trying to look good for her partner, two things come to mind as possibilities. She's either not and never really was in love with this man, or she's just not happy right now in this relationship. Because in most, and I'm going to say most because I don't want to say all, because there's exceptions to every rule, but in most cases, when the woman is truly into the man and is in a happy relationship, she wants to put her best foot forward for him. So pay attention to the woman who's willing to do that. I know of a couple where the woman straight up asked the guy, what do you want me to work on in the gym? How could I look better for you? You know what I'm saying? She had no problem trying to, again, and not in the sense of being something that she's not or losing herself. I don't want y'all to perceive this in a negative way. I simply want y'all to see it as, when we love someone, we want to pour into them their desires and their wants, and we want to put a smile on their face, and we want to show up for them in the way that they want us to. So we take that into consideration. And when that's not happening, something is typically off in the relationship. But I'm going to go one step further. Not only does she want to be better for you, but she's willing to take some level of accountability. Now listen, because I know, the theme out there is that women do not take accountability. And I'm not going to sit here and say that there aren't women who don't genuinely love their man and still struggle with accountability for various reasons, okay? But what I will say is that when she's willing to, again, take your constructive, and I have to use the word constructive because you have to make sure you're not attacking her with your words, you're not belittling her or devaluing her, but you've created an environment where you guys can openly communicate, openly, constructively criticize each other, and she's willing to embrace that and then take that information and be better, that shows someone who genuinely loves you. One example is I know of a guy who the woman he was dating, she would never give her opinion on things, all right? Whenever he would ask for her opinion, she never gave it. And her reasoning was because, well, she's no expert. She doesn't know for sure. She doesn't want to give the wrong answer. And one day the guy pulled her to the side and said, listen, I ask you your opinion not because I'm expecting the right answer. I want to hear your perspective. I value your insight. So I need you going forward to give me the opinion when I ask for it. And guess what she did? She started giving her opinion. She made that change. And it was never a problem after that. She responded to what his request was, his constructive criticism of her, and she made the necessary corrections because she truly cared about that man. So that is a clear sign of a woman truly being into you, being in love with you. All right, and before we get to number 6, quick note, get your copy of He Who Finds a Wife. It's one of my books for men. It's helping a lot of guys out there. Trust me, you're going to find a lot of value in it. Be sure to either click the link in the description or in the comment section, or just go to hewhofinds.com. All right. So now number 6 is she is willing to make sacrifices and compromise. So we're going to make this one quick because we kind of already talked about it in the sense of the woman who cares about you, who's really into you, isn't trying to just be selfish and make everything about her. And because of that, she is more willing to be flexible and compromise and make sacrifices, because I do believe that in love, both men and women there's going to be times where we make sacrifices. But I don't want you to confuse that with expecting a woman to lose herself in trying to accommodate you. The same way I would never encourage you to lose yourself in trying to accommodate or appease her. There is a line where we have to draw where we understand this goes against who we are, our values, things of that nature. And if we find ourselves in that position, this may be a sign that we're just not for each other, that we're not in proper alignment with each other, and there's nothing wrong with that. It happens, okay? But aside from crossing that line, the woman who is in love with you is willing to be more flexible, is willing, again, to consider how you feel and want to find a middle ground that both of you guys can be happy with. And sometimes, yes, make a flat out sacrifice of, maybe she doesn't get what she wants today for the sake of making you happy, but you want to make sure that you nurture that by reciprocating those things. All right. Don't just take advantage of a woman who loves you to make these compromises for you. No, show that you're willing to do the same for her. And that way it's a healthy environment that you both are getting what you need out of the relationship. Moving on to the 7th sign she's in love with you is that she is kind and patient with you. This is what comes to mind, what's hitting my spirit right now. We talk a lot, or society talks a lot about verbal and physical abuse that women are going through, in relationships. And this is a reality, an unfortunate reality, which I pray that those women get help. But unfortunately, we don't talk enough about the abuse men are suffering. There are a lot of men who go through these struggles and suffer in silence, all right? And you've got to understand, just as we would tell a woman, if a man treats her like that, he does not truly love her. Well, if a woman treats you like that, she is not truly in love with you. And she's definitely a very damaged woman. So it's important to understand that the woman who does love you is going to be willing to be more patient with you. She's gonna be not, look at it like this. Again, this is something else that's hitting me right now. Women who love kids, all right, are very patient with the child, are very kind to the child. They're not going to be short with them. They're not going to be overly aggressive with them. No, they love kids. You know what I'm saying? So they're pouring all that positivity and femininity into that child. Well, when she loves a man, that same energy transfers into her relationship. She has a greater level of patience, of kindness, of sweetness to that guy. So when that woman is giving that to you, that's something special to embrace. And again, I feel the need to say it one more time. make sure you honor and respect it. You know, make sure you embrace it by reciprocating the things that she needs in return, that nurtures it, that makes her feel safe in giving you more love and kindness and sweetness and all these things. But that's definitely a sign of a woman who's in love with you. Now, the eighth sign, and to me, this is a big one. All right, so I need y'all to really pay attention. The eighth sign, she is in love with you, is she's not trying to change you. So here's the thing. Again, one of those quotes I say all the time. They say, men get married hoping the woman will never change. Women get married hoping the man will change. All right? And the unfortunate reality is that a lot of people are marrying the wrong person. And a lot of women married a man they weren't truly in love with. It's a whole nother discussion. But the point here is that when she's trying to change you, that means she's not in love with you. She's in love with the fantasy of what she believes you can become. All right? Which may not truly be who you are in the end. Like, you may not connect to that fantasy. Whatever potential she sees in you, whatever, that may not connect with you at your core. So she is not in love with the man that you are right now. Now, please do not confuse this with her wanting you to be better. I think that when we love someone, we want them to be the best version of themselves. We want them to elevate. We want them to, to just get better. But to change you, to make you something you're not, that's the problem. All right? So if she loves you, she's not trying to change you. She's only trying to enhance you. And again, make you the best version of yourself. That's the key. All right? So you can always improve in certain areas of who you already are. But once you notice this woman's trying to make you something you're not, that's a huge red flag. And we don't need to proceed at that point. But again, let's not focus on the wrong thing. Let's focus on the right thing. She loves you. She's not trying to change you because she embraces the man that you are, and she is happy with the man that you are. But of course, always strive to be better. Which brings me to my last point, which is the ninth sign she's in love with you, is that she inspires you to be better. Now, that might sound kind of funny because it's like, well, how does that show it's her that loves you if you're feeling inspired? Because for a man to feel inspired to be better, it goes back to what I said earlier about when we love someone, we want to be better for them. It's just a natural thing. And when we genuinely love someone, part of that is because we're also feeling the love from them. Like, true love is a two-way experience. Connection is a two-way experience. So when you feel inspired by this woman, that's a good sign at the very least that there's something real or genuine here, all right? Because if you were dealing with someone who was a great girl, but it didn't make you want to become a better man, then I would say, okay, something's missing here. And that thing that's missing is love and connection. So, and also look at it from the standpoint of if you're inspired, again, it goes back to, it's probably because she's pouring love into you. She's doing these things on this list. You know what I'm saying? That make you more drawn to her, make you be more into her, and this makes you more motivated to be better for her, for yourself, and overall, so that you can have an amazing relationship and experience a higher quality of life. Now, one more thing before we go, all right, that I feel is important for me to mention. You know, I talk a lot about women's intuition, and I believe in the power of it. But I do believe that as men, we have intuition as well. We just have to learn how to tap into it. Or even more so, we can say a higher level of spiritual discernment, so to speak. All right? And I'm a firm believer that a lot of dudes are choosing the wrong women to be with because they're operating from the surface. And they don't know how to get in tune with their spirit in a way that allows them to see past the nonsense. We're so distracted a lot of times by, damn, she looks so good, or she does these certain nice things, or man, she's a great girl. And she may be all of those things. But deep inside, it's not there. Deep inside, the connection is missing. Deep inside, if you got more in tune with your spirit, if you learn how to go to God, talk to God, hear God, then you would be able to hear spiritually that she's not for you. And it would save you the headache of making the mistakes so many men have made. So I simply want to encourage you to not just use these 9 signs as a way to evaluate things on the surface, but to learn how to go within and go in prayer. Now, some of you may not be believers. Even if you're not a believer, I still believe that a great way to help you go inward is 1, fasting, all right? And 2, just removing distractions. Maybe taking a day or 2, or maybe 3 days where you unplug from the internet. Maybe it's including fasting, maybe it's not, but you're just removing TV, internet, whatever. Clear your mind and really allow yourself to just go into a deeper thought and process what's happening here and who this woman is to you. I think you'd be surprised to see that if more men did that, if you did that, you would gain a higher level of clarity if this is a woman you should move forward with or not. Hey, thank you for watching this video. Be sure to check this one out right here, and I'll see you there. Honestly, there are a lot of good women out there, but that doesn't mean she's gonna be good for you. And the reality is that a lot of men struggle with picking the right woman. And I'm going to help you today and break down the 7